Hey, hey, yeah.
Well, I see with your Twitter name it has the area code of Kwakwa, which is 057. Is it Kwakwa?
No, it's Velcro.
Oh my word.
Kwakwa is 058, ne?
Oh,
No,
wow.
that's Harry Smith.
I'm saying that's Kwakwa. I'm thinking that's Kwakwa.
Kwakwa
Is it?
I think it's 05.
Okay.
Like
Now I have to rethink my question because it was based on Kwakwa. Okay, with 057. This is killing thing.
Now, like that, basketball. When I think about places to know for basketball, I know a lot of guys that
yeah.
I wanna rap basketball. Like for me, like when it comes to alcohol, like now I think rap, like culture-wise, rap, basketball, and like. I think it's because of my interaction with my family. Like,
sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking basketball. That's just like top things that come out where like to culture, especially amongst youth.
Yeah.
So, like when now you are a better rapper. Yeah, you are. Yeah,
I can better rap.
Maybe take us through like your growing up that side.
No man, Velcro, me growing up, this whole hip hop shit was nothing. It was close to nothing close to me, right? I grew up in an area where house was dominating, house music was dominating, kakas, you know, and then like I used to dance, dude, like, you know, that whole thing, like, you know, like Cadela, hipster shit. You know, I was famous for that shit, like, Bampiza Guava, live. Dude, I would dance in front of the pavilion, like high school, and everybody would know me as that nigga, you know, Guava, Majaiva, and, you know, I was in the clique, DHB, and all of that, you know. So that was literally, like, my entire secondary. You know, and then now look at this thing that just switches. From there on, okay, in grade 11 and going into grade 12, that's when, you know, now I'm a smoker, going to the smokers area, and then you get to hear people like start to do the stainless dope. I like this rhythm, you know, yeah, you know, and as time went on, because I'm a very curious one, like. But I used to write. That's the thing. I didn't know. I used to write, plug them on my walls.
Like write as in
right. Be inspired. I didn't know what it was. It's only after this guy by the name of Flame Phoenix. Si Pomlange. I remember one of the poem. You know what I mean? All of that. The same thing as Jaros. Yeah. Sipo Flame Phoenix will tell you about this. Even like my family. I had like these things there. You know. And then I was like, okay. And then. It's like a rap, rap, and then it became something, you know, very frustrating in my life at that time, because now I've heard these things that people say and like, oh, and I don't get it, and I'm forced now, like, I have to read, and then when you read like exciting stuff, and then you try, and then people are excited when you rap, like these people don't know me, like back home they know this Majaiva, you know, and then you know how we stigmatize a lot of things, right? And then it had kind of a certain effect psychologically in my life, because I know this, that I always find myself here, I'm always doing this, learned to, you know, because I always respected music as this magical thing. You know, I always held everyone that I heard on radio like high. And then if I heard, and I did that, I was like, whoa, you know, and I couldn't resist it, because in coming into this environment and meeting different people got me to the art side, to see art, and you know, and it got me to different people who were saying different things and all of that, and I was like, man, I've been always being around people in a group, but I never actually took the time to check who am I, you know, and I found that I'm that guy that says some stuff. I want to say stuff. Right, so I was like, let me do this stuff. Right? Yeah.
And has that?
Yeah, like at some point, like I don't know like now I see people like native people like what I do now you're going to be more creative and but I think that's more the way we kind of think that it was like high now just but just like go away.
Sure.
Like like at least you try sometimes you try to box
into it.
because also it's an artist.
Yeah.
Like when you were writing, but then you on the other side we would wanna acquire artists as these crazy people doing all this like out of
Well, coming from that background and knowing firsthand, like how we used to view these type of people, boom rapper, yo, my man. You understand? Like at that time, really, like those kind of terms, that kind of image that in your hood they instill because they talk down about these people. You know? But then the only hip hop we were exposed to is the one that we saw on TV and on radio. Currently, there are people who follow this music that are in the culture, that actually go to ciphers, that know other cats from somewhere, you know, and all of that. And we missed all of that. Yeah, but yeah, it was also nice, you know, dancing and all of that. Like I'm not, you know. But then what I'm saying is, the other, they were not welcome in a sense. They were more distant. They were more, you know, you know, yeah. Because at the end of the day, people who were actually exposed to rap at that time, like in the banana, that new English, response, you know, yeah. So it was basically that until and then you read about it like, wow, but this is actually dope, you know? Yeah. Okay. So my love with words, I guess, then came in there because even my sister knew, like every time, like the radio will always be on. Sure. I can't sleep without hearing music. I love music to a certain extent. Like I would sit there next to the little boombox and then just listen to all the elements that are playing in my mind and all of that, you know. And I've loved music like since from a young age, you know. So rap, words, I guess, came to.
Right.
Yeah.
Then another question would be with but now within a group, right, setting. But now when you are alone, even though how did that, if it did, that is, those two worlds play on your esteem as a person?
It kind of brought it lower because the moment I went to my friends, my normal friends, you know, my day one niggas, they do the question, you know, and then I say, I'm on a ball, like, wasn't tweeting anything. I want to say, and then already when people say that, like, you start doubting yourself, like, you know, because you don't understand shit, you know, and it comes with that, then it becomes something that's,
sure,
then you try to hide it.
Sure.
Now you're not free anymore. You're trapped by society's, you know, views, standards, you know, environment. You know, until I became free, where now I wake up, I don't know this place. My intuition is basically leading me. I go wherever, and then I seem to have stopped and associated myself where there was. And it was all that. I was like, you know, it was so fun because I didn't even know I was freestyling, but to me it was rap. But then I kept on freestyling, and my freestyles were dope, super dope. And many people gave me that confidence that, yo, man, you know, until I had this name, and then, yeah, wow. So you can get identified, you know, okay, Bobby Lock, as I introduced myself, is a name that I got from my mother and from my father. Initially, baby Lock, meaning that last born, the last one to be born within our family. And then as growing up, I born from Tosha Ditunche, doesn't mean baby. So Bobby Lock, but it's not an ID. My rap name, initial rap name was No No, because I was that arrogant type nigga that didn't take shit from anyone, and then anything that I would always resist for how I to mix or that like that's nice. Thinking about it now, like it's an EP. Yeah, but that's the journey, like how I got to learn from alter egos. Like you have Eminem, you have Slim Shady, you have all of that. There's a certain type of persona within you that is inspired, and then through the art you express yourself through that type of medium, and you give it a name because you're not always in that state. Slim Shady wouldn't be going around swearing at everyone in the street and like example, martial matters, So that's it. That's the one thing also I like about that made me free about art. I mean rapping, in a sense, to say that you can actually create this thing in your mind that thinks in a certain way. I'm not saying that it's me at that time, because I mean, like, not saying that it's me in real life. I wouldn't be walking around doing certain things and saying certain things to people, because you need to consider not everyone is a rapper. But how do you communicate with your social group? At what stand where do you stand with everyone else in that element? Because it's a competitive environment. They need to know that they ain't shit, and you have to like say it with aggression sometimes. Sometimes you have to as a challenge to rappers, like what Kendrick did with Control. He didn't say he's better than anyone, but he's saying that he came here to compete. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's about that. It's a sport. It has to be about that. We can't always be touchy and all that. But man, you grow up and realize that you really don't want to be the best. You just want to be happy, And sometimes what you write, you want it to last forever. Yeah. So that's
I'm good.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think that's right.
Yeah, man.
Love, family, music.
No pun intended.
We've spoken about everything, didn't we?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Love, good conduct, that's something that you should. I think, well, when it comes to love is very broad. Love, I'm not only talking about a relationship,
Yes.
we're talking about the way of life,
Yes.
If I think love will even fix all the problems we have, whether it's financially or anything. Because sometimes I feel like the mind is more subjective, objective, I don't know which term to use, but it scrutinizes things, and your heart is more, it can never lie, because you can convince yourself to say something, and but it feels different. So when we do things because they're logical sometimes, like I'll sacrifice my passion. At the end of the day, the mind is a good tool, but not a great master, because if you're going to master your life based on sense and not intuition, sometimes you sacrifice the greater good of yourself, because sometimes the thing that's telling you, like, this is it, this is what you love, this is when you wake up, you do things, you love that stuff, and you'll grow faster and become greater because that's you.
Sure.
But it's logical for me to then have to buy bread and all of that, and then I have to go there and do something that is not me for 8 hours, which takes up most of my life, But I'm just saying that I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. Don't underestimate what your salary can do for you, your job can do for you. Don't never underestimate such thing. But if we can teach the young kids, that if you do things out of love, and always do good, because love has to do with good. If you love something, you won't be selfish. You love that thing, you want to keep it good, by giving and all of that. It's a good attitude, and that's the only thing that can even unite us, And if the government loved us, I mean, just imagine, if your teacher loved you, and or like if things were done out of love.
Be better.
How many dads would be gone? No many dads would be gone if they actually loved.
Sure.
Yeah. So love will solve a whole lot of issues, actually.
So,
and if you love money, you won't want to spend it,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And would you say that with love of self, right? Would you say there's a certain stage or level that you reach to say, okay, like now, I love myself and I'm very self-aware.
But yourself is everything else.
Yeah.
So if you say you love yourself, it means you love everything else. Like you love Snebocho, you love me and all of that, right? Yeah.
So that would mean that if you say you love self, everything that revolves within, you love.
Considering that you love everything, animals, plants, and everything. Like sun gives you energy for the plants to be there so that you can breathe. Yeah, there wouldn't be no self without all of that stuff. You are one with it. You know, there's nothing separate from you now. Then all of that, how much ever becomes a reality to you, someone else, to Tukani is somewhere else. This is not real in his life at this current moment. You're here and then you're living in this current space with everything that's happening, the music background and all of those stuff, right? And then if you don't acknowledge this, it means that you're omitting part of yourself. So if you omit part of yourself, you know, you separate from the stuff that actually keep you and make you here, give you reason to be here and all of that, it means that you only love a certain portion of yourself. But if you really love yourself in total, you love everything around you.
Sure.
You know?
Absolutely. I'm nice. I'm nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go talking.
Words, yeah.
It's nice talking to you.
Word, man.
I think.
We can go on the whole.
Yeah.
Literally.
Thanks.